السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري واشدد به أزري وأشرك في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين آمين آمين. We have been studying the uh, the Quran from chronological way, according to their revelation, chronology of revelations. And we now, Alhamdulillah, are studying the section Furqan, 25th section of the Quran. And we studied last week this verse. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا تدعوا اليوم ثبورا واحدا وادعوا ثبورا كثيرا. So those people who are doomed to the or deserve to be in hell are told, don't pray today for one death, but pray for many deaths. We emphasized on the importance of why they ask for death, rather they cannot commit suicide by themselves. So it was somehow exciting for me, or how we explained it, and of course benefiting from our great scholars. And we said, why not? Why God is really torturing them so that they will ask, please, please give us death, give us death on many occasions, and God will not give death to them. And it reminded me, maybe some other friends as well, this verse. Let's go there. Now, this verse. Here, my cursor follow. فلو أن لنا كرة فتكون من المؤمنين. So it is from the 26th section of the Quran, and the verse number, if someone is listening to the recordings and cannot see the screen, that's why I'm telling you, although you clearly see it, 102, verse number 102, if only we could have a second chance, then we would be believers. Now, they say, of course, people say this, and the following, excuse me, the above verses explain why they say this after being, if you like, dragged into hell. So why we are going to question why God doesn't let them go back to the world and see if they are going, and they will be, after experiencing the hell, we are expecting that they will be, or it's expected that they will really follow the prophets and believe in God and the other requirements of belief and act nicely and do some good work. So why doesn't God give them this opportunity? Now, let's study this verse now from section 6, An'am, verse number 27, and also we will study verse number 28. So this ayah reads as, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, ولو ترى إذ وقفوا على النار فقالوا يا ويلتنا نرد ولا نكذب بآيات ربنا ونكون من المؤمنين. No, that's a very reasonable, seems to be innocent request. Let me read the translation that I have selected from the translations, available translations online. So this one says, if you could only see when they are made to stand before the fire, how they will say, if only we could be sent back, we wouldn't reject the revelations of our Lord, but be among the believers, let alone rejecting, but be among the believers. وَنَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. We wouldn't reject the revelations of our Lord, but be among the, why, I don't understand why the translation used but here. My English is not enough to understand. We wouldn't reject the revelations of Lord, and even more be among the believers, because it says, وَلَا نُكَذِّبُ بِآيَاتِ رَبِّنَا وَنَكُنْ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Why but? I don't understand that. I haven't noticed while I am copy-pasting it. I am sorry, it is my neglection. So sorry about it. So even more, we would be among the believers. That's what I understood from Arabic. Bismillah. The following verse says, let me read all of them and we will talk about it all together. بل بدا لهم مما كانوا يخفون من قبل ولو ردوا لعادوا لما نهوا عنه وإنهم لكاذبون. But no, they only say this because, I mean, I would say, بل بدا لهم كانوا يخفون من قبل ولو ردوا لعادوا لما نهوا عنه وإنهم لكاذبون. They only say this just because the truth they used to hide will become all too clear to them. Even if they were to be sent back, they would certainly revert to what they were forbidden. Indeed, they are liars. That is what God says. God says. They are liars. But for my mind, I'm a suspicious person. How? Well, of course, God knows everything. That is by definition, but we have to question here. It seems to me, if I see the hell, next creation, I am recreated as the prophets told me. Plus, and because I denied here, and after seeing the hell as a result, as the prophet promised me, if you deny, you will be punished for this denial. And it came true as well in front of my eyes, and I'm experiencing it because I am standing before the fire. Here we go. When they are made to stand before the fire, follow my cursor, And they will say, send us back, so we will follow, we will confirm the revelation, and we will be believers because we have experience there. So my mind says, apart from God knows that they would, no, it is just taken for granted attitude. So I don't prescribe to it personally. Now, first of all, I must be satisfied that, look, if I was in this position, rejecting the prophets, enemy of the prophets, etc., and after being resurrected and experiencing the next creation and experiencing that what the prophet was had been telling me in the word became all true, uh, when I go back to the word, I wouldn't really reject, it seems to be. But the verse says, no, 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 you would still reject it. My question is, how can I be, how can I be satisfied that these verses are really true? I feel, here is my question. Here is my question. Here. There is only one question about this subject, which is not about the series that we are following. That's why I took a general analysis of it. So we have been studying section Furqan. Now this is from section Anam. So this is just a kind of diversion from the main point. My question says, why does God, at the very bottom of the screen, why does God not give them another opportunity so they will believe and be good people? Why there is no second chance? I want to understand, but the answer, straight away answer, which is not satisfactory for everyone, because saying that God knows, but in order to confirm this verse, and in order to be able to say that God knows, you have to be gone through, why should I believe in God? Why should I believe in the truthfulness of the Quranic message? Lots of prerequisites are waiting there. But when I read the Quran, for example, an ordinary man takes the translation of the Quran, reads it, they say, why not next another chance for these people? Look, they are begging. They are begging. As the Quran says, فَلَوْ أَنَّ لَنَا here, the last verse here, فَلَوْ أَنَّ لَنَا كَرَّةً, another opportunity, second chance. Now, don't take your hand down. Wait there. I've seen somebody sent there. Please. Just I wanted to complete the presentation. Yeah, thank you. فَلَوْ إِنَّ لَنَا كَرَّةً فَنَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. If only we could have another second chance, then we would be believers. I promise. I have already experienced. It's an interesting point that we have to understand the psychology of denial. That's my purpose of studying these verses. Afshan Haq.
So I'm going to attempt to answer the question. I think, if we can only have a second chance, I think the problem is in the statement that it's not that they had one chance and now they would like a second chance. They had endless chances throughout their life, and it was a fair playing field. In other words, there was more than adequate evidence and endless opportunity. So they cannot claim that there's an injustice. So the fallacy is in the statement as if they only had one chance. No, they had like you could say multiple chances, more
Yeah.
than that.
More than once. Yeah, all their life, through their life. Now, thank you. It is one way of looking at it, definitely. I agree. Anymore, otherwise, I will disclose something that the verse is telling us. Bel beda lehum. Now, the second verse here, follow the cursor. Bel beda lehum ma kanu yukhfuna min qablu. Here is the translation. The truth they used to hide will become all too clear to them. Which kind of translation? Why I was so negligent to pay attention? بل بدا لهم ما كانوا يخفون من قبل. Why will become? They have it has already become. I don't understand these translators' mind that they always refer to the future. No, they used to hide because the truth they used to hide will become all too clear. No, in this world it was clear for them. They used to hide this. It means we have been studying, I think all those friends who have been following regularly these discussions, the previous verses was presenting us the case that they are making up excuses by accusing the prophets not having any angels accompanying it, not having a superior position, extraordinary treatment by God. So being a simple people, and in the case of most of the prophets, are not educated, unlettered people. And they were just accusing this, but the Quran was hinting that, yes, they are accusing the personality of the prophets, but they are not really paying attention to the message because they know message is really declaring the reality. From their own feelings, they understand that, yes, nothing, no injustice will remain without being punishment. Then there is no accidental happenings in this world. Everything is perfectly arranged for a perfect purpose. So this creation cannot be meaningless, absurd. They know all it. Why? That's why they were hiding this. They were hiding this. Bel beda lehum. Now it is became obvious. Ma kanu yukhfuna min qablu. ولو ردوا لعادوا لما نهوا عنه وإنهم لكاذبون. They are telling the lies because it is if they are asking or presenting an excuse saying that, oh, we didn't know these were truths. What the prophets were telling us the truth. We thought these people are simple people. There is no extraordinary qualities they have. So why should I take notice of it? No. If the prophet, the same prophet, was not really telling them that they are created beings, they need to take care of the purpose in their existence. They should watch out for what they are doing, how they treat, especially those rejecting the prophets were the leading figures. They think that they are the honorable people, nobles of the society. distinguished people in the society, they don't want to leave their position, and the superior position, they assign these positions to themselves by themselves. They all know these tricks they have been doing. Now, everything became obvious to them, clear to them. Now, if they go back, they denied the truth while they are well aware of it. That was the choice. We have been studying these verses and emphasizing that if somebody did not know, this is a very important point. If somebody did not know what the revelation is all about, what the prophet is telling really, and what the content of the message is, and they didn't know that this is true, we said we cannot call them deniers. Last week we heavily discussed this. We cannot call them kafir, because in order to be a denier, one has to know, there is a lawyer among us. I'm the professor of lawyer among us. So if I didn't know something and did something against this thing that I shouldn't do, but I didn't know it, can the law say that? Not, of course, I know not knowing the law is not the excuse, but not knowing the law, no. I didn't know that this is what should be done. I didn't know, and I didn't do it because I didn't know that it should be done. For example, I didn't know that this is the truth. That is why I didn't know. I took no notice of it. Ordinary people, we said we cannot call them deniers because they don't know what the Quran is telling. They don't know what the Prophet is telling. Even they don't know that Islam is something really presenting to mankind something serious. They say this is the Arabs' religion, as if it is Arabs' tradition. And we are here, American, following American tradition. Now, everybody is free to follow their tradition. They don't bother even to investigate. They don't know what they are missing. And how can we call them deniers? In order to be able to deny, you have to know something truth, and you say denying it, saying that no, it is not. So it is not true. So in order to deserve to be standing before the fire, you got to be a denier. And in order to be a denier, you got to know the truth and deny it. Otherwise, I didn't know. I didn't confirm because I didn't know what it was. And it didn't attract my attention. And especially nowadays, it is not really presented to the people in the street nowadays what Islam is, especially in this land. People don't know anything about Islam. How can we call them denying? What are they denying? If you tell them, are you denying the prophetic message? They will look at you in a surprise and what are you talking about? Which prophet? What is that? As if it is, somebody professor or something. They don't know what it is. They don't know what it is. People don't know what the Quran is telling. But they heard there is a religion, Islam. These people, they might have. They believe in God. They say the Christians, we believe in God as well. What is the deal? Great deal about it. So it is now. God says, we know what you were hiding there while we were denying. because you knew it and denied it. If I send you back, now you know it, but you denied it while you are knowing it. What are you talking about to me now? If you didn't know and deny it, you wouldn't be here in standing before the hell. No, that is an interesting point, especially this one. Use the height. Let me mark it. Excuse me. Now, go back. Let me mark it right. I won't say because the truth they used to hide became all clear to them now, not will become. Anyway, it may be the only say this because the truth that they used to hide will become all too clear to them. Well, became all clear to them. Anyways, now let me underline it. Even to attract every one of us attention, let me change the color. Okay, not to confuse this one. Okay, this. Now, is it clear now? Because the truth they used to hide became all too clear to them. Bel beda lehum became all clear to them. So that is another reason. One reason our friend just explained, Afshan explained, they have been given many opportunities during their life. All the created, the universe out there, witnessing the truth that there is nothing accidental happening, everything is meaningful in the world. And the prophet came asking for no worldly benefit from them, and also uh, telling them that not to go against your reality, human reality, your feelings, not to contradict yourself. Do good actions that you know what is good and what is bad, when the Quran said. And also look at the universe continuously changing. It is not stable. Of course, there is a purpose in its existence. Like you and I die, everything dies, the universe will die one day, and all the injustice we cannot remain without getting what they deserve for the injustice. The creator of the universe is not a negligent creator. Everything is taken care of perfectly. How many occasions you have been experiencing for how many years? That is also Afshan's comment, which makes sense. But the Quran emphasizes here specifically that they deny knowingly, and now they say we became aware everything was true. You were aware everything what the prophet was saying was true, and you made excuses by accusing the personality of the prophet not having any superposition. The previous verses studied all these. Now we understand that there are quite a number of verses in the Quran saying that they will ask God to send them back to the world, and they won't follow those misleading people. They promise that we are not going to follow these people anymore. We are going to follow the prophets. And Quran doesn't say that we will send it back to you, or this explanation comes in this verse, and 28. So, for example, this ayah, 26, section 26, 102, فَلَوْ أَنَّ لَنَا كَرَّةً فَنَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Now, if only we could have a second chance, then we would be believers. In the Quran, there is no answer to this. It means, come on, this is just a trash claim. We know that. But only in this verse, there is one answer that because of this, I'm not going to send you back because you knowingly denied it. Now you know because of some other reason as well. Let's talk about the third reason. Why this verse is telling us, these verses are telling us that they are not going to go sent back and be good people. They can't be good people. This is explained. But there is another message in this verse. Let me read the verse again. If we could only see, but we have to watch out carefully. Now we are reading I will just again repeat the same thing as I always say. We are reading the verses to relate to our daily life now. Now, what am I going to benefit from this verse in my practical life now? Now it came to this point. We came to this point. If you could only see when they are made to stand before the fire. Now, here is the fire. How they will say, if only we could be sent back, we wouldn't reject the revelations of our Lord, but be among the believers. Now, this case, I'm going to give you a good clue for you. This case is taken when they see the fire. Oh, it is impossible. So I better to believe. That is the clue. I better to believe to save me from the fire. What did you get from it? Any idea? From this message, for now, for me, what lesson should I take from this message? Right now, let me see, anyone is raising the hand. Hand. I really remember those days. MashaAllah, I'm very excited. So, Afshan, go ahead.
It seems like in their answer,
Yes.
they are admitting that they knew the truth all along.
Yes.
So they definitely don't deserve a second chance.
Right.
They're admitting in their statement, they're admitting their willful denial of the truth.
Yes. We discussed this. Afshan, don't go away and don't mute your mic or somebody else. But for the moment you are speaking, keep your mic open. Now, we discussed this because the truth they used to hide will become all clear to them or became all clear to them. They were denying the truth, but making an excuse by rejecting the prophet because of their some ego-centered concerns. Their status, maybe being on thinking that my position as a leader in the society will be shaken or destroyed because the prophet was declaring that everybody is equal and everybody is the creature, Abdullah, Allah's worshippers. So in equal terms, they didn't like this. That is why they denied it. But another thing, the point, I am just emphasizing that when they see the fire, stand before the fire, it means torture is there. And they say, I'm going to back. I would like to go back and be better, be a believer. Now, did you get any clue? When they see the fire, so I will just go without waiting further. Anything else to get the relationship? Make it much more clear.
I have
Excuse
sorry.
me. The relationship between fire and then belief.
I have a
Yes.
thought.
Yes.
They see the fire and they become extremely afraid,
Yes.
fearful, frightened, and that's not a reason to become a believer.
Yeah. What lesson do we get from it? Any
Well,
idea?
that belief is always voluntary. It can't be. I mean, you can't through force or threat make someone a believer. What they need to do is hear the message and believe that there's a messenger.
Yes, belief that is, within itself, this is correct. The belief must be voluntary. But voluntarily I believe because I don't want to be subject to fire or punishment. This belief is not valid because I want to protect myself from punishment. That is why I believe. Did you get it? This belief is not valid.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Yes.
Yeah, this belief must be voluntarily choosing the truth and deciding to follow the truth for the sake of truth, not for the sake of the punishment. You got to be very careful about this point. That's the possibility that maybe the prophets are telling, was possibility. The prophets are telling that after this life, after we die, we will be resurrected, we will be recreated, and if I deny it, they say you will be in fire. It's better to be on the safe side. I believe. This is not belief. Belief is confirmation. Belief is certainty. Belief is, as you said, voluntary choice. This is true. I have to submit to myself to the truth, and I have to follow the truth. For the sake of truth, we have to follow it, not for the sake of the fear of fire. That is a hidden message in this ayah. This is very practical now. So, am I praying? Yes. Because if I don't pray, I will be punished. No. Because I have to pray. It is more human. It is really human that I have to pray. And it is for my benefit. It is appropriate to my nature, to my reality. So I have to do it. It is the truth. So, for example, I shouldn't harm others because it is wrong. I shouldn't. I shouldn't harm others. I shouldn't exploit other people because it's not right. Because it is not right. So I have to do this because it is right. It is true. That is why we should watch out. Why am I believing in what am I believing? For example, if I don't pay tax in America, in the United States, I know what will happen to me. Do you understand? I know one of my neighbors here lost their house. They had a beautiful house with garden, lost their house just because they had not paid their taxes. And the state confiscated the property, sold it out cheaply. A very clever lady bought it. Now, very cheaply because the state is concerned to get his money only unpaid and accumulated fees or late fees or interests on 10 or 5, something years of not paying the tax, lost the house. So everybody is afraid of this consequence. Not everybody, most of the people afraid of this consequence, and that is why they pay the tax. Very rarely, very few people pay the tax because it is true that I have to do it. It is the truth. I have to follow it. Not everybody does this. So this is not belief. This is the fear of punishment, losing the house. This is not belief. Practically, secular society is based on this. If I park my car here, for example, in a place that I shouldn't park the car, the fear of getting the ticket, I'm not parking there. Mostly, not because it is not right here to do, thinking that. So this is not belief. It is not loyalty. The real loyalty is I am not parking my car here because it is not right to park my car here. It is disturbing other people. It is disturbing the traffic, whatever. But I have to believe what I am doing. That is called in the Quran, belief bil ghaib. Al-iman bil ghaib. It means because the universe tells me that I have to have a creator. You have to have a creator. Witnesses this with its ayat, with its signs. Then I have to say, yes, I believe that the universe must have a creator. I myself cannot be the result of accidents, my feelings, human feelings, cannot come out of matter, sheer matter. So it is true that I am made by a conscious being who is the creator of the universe, because this conscious being has given me the sense in direct connection with the rest of the universe. And I am communicating with the meaning of the universe through my human feelings, which is called human spirit. So my human spirit is communicating with the spirit of the universe, meaningful side of the universe. And I understand this universe must have a creator. And I am thankful to this creator. I confirm him. I am thankful to this creator for whatever he has given to me. That is called belief, not because of the fear of hell, especially while I am here. The news of the fear, hell punishment, not because of the news. Maybe it is true. It may turn out to be true. No, it is not belief. So there is, of course, a certain tradition in Islamic heritage that we should not, that everybody knows this, all Muslims are aware of it, those practicing Muslims, we should not practice Islamic rituals or requirements because of the fear of hell or because of the reward of paradise, just because it is true to do that. But as a result, we hope that we will be saved. We ask God to save us from the fire, and we will be hopeful about the paradise, not for the sake of paradise, not for the sake of securing ourselves from the punishment of hell, but for the sake of truth. But I am hoping that in consequence of my obedience, sincere confirmation of the truth, I am hoping that my Creator is not going to punish me in hell, and I am hoping that and wishing that from my Creator, He will reward my actions with paradise. That is why the Prophet is encouraging, hope the reward, hope the reward. Allah, God is going to reward you for your good actions. Make sure, but don't do it for the reward, for the sake of reward. That is the distinction we learned from this verse, which speaks secretly. So, inshallah, we will benefit from it. Any question? Otherwise, I will move to Afshan. Go ahead.
Sorry guys to keep interrupting, but I want to know, Doctor, while you were speaking earlier, you mentioned people who don't actively deny, but as you said, they heard of a religion called Islam, they believe in God, so what? So do Christians. I'm just curious, but they don't actively, they're just living their lives. They don't actively search for truth and examine different ideologies. I'm so curious, like, do we have any information or idea what happens to them?
I don't know. I'm not the judge. I'm not going to treat them in the hereafter what they deserve. It is none of my business. It is the business of the Creator. He will take care of them. He knows. But what I should understand for myself, that I cannot blame or label people who don't deny, reject, prevent me from, for example, having this discussion with you here. No one is preventing me. So my neighbor says, what are you doing? I'm studying the Quran. Ah, good for you. That's it. But they are negligent, or we are, this argument, my friend Afshan, you are asking, this argument is useless to me, because people say that those people no Islam, they don't study, they are all, none of my business. Why? They will be in hell. Who are you? Are you God, knowing what they really deserve to it? But my responsibility is, if someone outwardly reject Islam, prevent Islam from being distributed or conveyed to other people, delivered to other people. And on the street, I've not seen anyone, the people on the, for example, some people speak Christianity or Islam in subways, in the trains in New York. Some people listen to it, some people don't care. No one prevents them. They are not rejectors. But who they are, none of my business. I take this lesson for myself. I shouldn't reject the truth. That's it. As much as I know, try to understand it. That's my responsibility. I have to take care of myself. There is, my friend Avshan, there is no reason I should get involved into discussion what will happen to Christians. What are you going to do? Let's say they all will go to hell. So what? No, they won't. So what? Are you going to judge them? Or God will judge them? None of your business. As far as the Islamic administration is concerned, there is no such thing in the world. But even if there was, if someone says, I am a Christian, I want to live with the Muslims, no one can say no. That is very interesting. No one can say no. If someone says, I am a Jew, I am going to have a community here with my fellow Jews, and we are going to have what was the name? Their temple? Come on, didn't come to my mind. Jewish praying place.
Synagogue.
Synagogue. Islamically, no one has the right to stop them. Don't be misled by this meaningless Saudi kingdom operation. No one has the right to stop them Islamically. But kings do everything, none of my business, according to Islamic regulations. Even there is a dispute between a Muslim, a Jew. This dispute will be resolved according to the Jews, for the Jews, according to Torah law, and for the Muslim, according to Qur'an law. That's why Prophet executed the people who broke the treaty according to Torah. The Prophet asked them, so compassionate the Prophet was. Prophet asked them, would you like me to pass a judgment for you according to Islam, or would you like me to pass the judgment to you according to Torah? They said according to Torah. Okay, call a Torah scholar. And so, they said, this is the Torah scholar. All right, ask him, what is the punishment if someone breaks according to Torah? In Medina administration, Islamic administration, are under the administration of the Prophet himself. And they said, the scholar said, I must be honest, according to Torah regulations, Sharia, if you like, those people who break the treaty must be executed. And the Prophet said, that's what it is. That's what you have chosen. You see? I mean, we have to, but this is the negative side of it. We have to treat people according to their creed, their belief, their religious tradition. Even if it is in the Islamic administration, let alone in modern administration, no one cares whatever you believe. They treat everyone according to their civil code. But in some civil code in America, for example, they respect Jewish people's rules and Muslim people's the Muslim rulings, Sharia. In some states, they don't. That is how it is. None of my business. But what I am trying to say here, in order to understand this case, we cannot blame anyone because of their, as far as I'm concerned, as far as we are concerned, and Muslims are concerned, we cannot pass judgment to anyone because of their belief. And I have to take care of my responsibility. What will happen to them in the hereafter? That is, God is going to pass judgment to them, not me. Why bother? Why should I bother? How about the treatment here? Oh, here is the treatment. Everybody is free in his belief system. Even if there was an Islamic administration, I have to treat them according to their belief system. I don't know if someone says, for example, in the Quran says, if someone says to you salam, don't say that you are not believing. I don't remember the verse, but the meaning is this. Somebody can find out the verse and share us in the chat. ولا تقل لمن قال سلام لست بمؤمن. That is the verse. If someone remembers the verse or search for it, it's very interesting verse, actually. Is anybody doing that, the search? Because the time is up. Otherwise, I will do it. Okay. Doing it or not? Please tell me. If someone is doing it, please tell me. Searching. All right. I have to do it. So people are not our brothers and Bismillah. ولا تقولوا لمن ألقى إليكم السلام لست مؤمنا. Here it is, this one. I am sharing my screen. Did you see that? ولا تقولوا لمن ألقى إليكم السلام لست مؤمنا. Look, let's read the simple translation. Do not say to someone who offers you a greeting of peace, let alone I am a believer. No. Says salam, peace. Now, in America, what to say? Hello, my friend. You are not a believer. Don't say this. It is a very big responsibility to say somebody who says salam to you, hi to you, good morning to you, for example, and say that he's kafir. Quran says no, you cannot. If we say that these people are kafir, deniers, although when I go out like this, my friends know that, and with my amame on me, and people say hello to me, and I have to say hello, good morning. In the morning when I go to the mosque, if someone comes and says good morning, good morning, and I say you are not a believer. How dare I can say this? Quran says don't say it. That is a very interesting subject. Now, I don't know how you feel now about the question Afshan asked. People keep arguing these unnecessary things rather than studying the Quran. I don't know. At least any question about the subject, and my friend Afshan asked this question. Are you satisfied with my answer? Does it really make sense?
Yes, thank you, Doctor.
Really?
Yes, I'm comfortable. I was just curious. I didn't have strong feelings either way, but I was just curious. So thank you.
So,
I just want to say I'm really glad Afshan asked that question because that crossed my mind today during the halakha, but also other times as well. And so I'm really glad it was brought up and addressed. Thank you.
you are most welcome. Inshallah, we have to have a clear, satisfied heart for our whatever we talk about it here. And these are, I would say, jewels of the Quran that directly relates to our life here. What, inshallah, we are always trying to get the relation, the message applicable to my practical life now, rather than what will happen in the hereafter. No, when we go there, we will know that. But why God tells this news to me right now, while I am in this world, not frightening me, so it will be a guidance for me, and I will be satisfied that this guidance is really useful for me now, rather than, oh, I have to do it because the hell is waiting for me. No. I have to do it for the sake of truth. That is the last sentence I can say. Thank you very much. I am a little bit annoyed with these arguments going on among Muslims, whether Jews are really going to be treated as the people of books. Is Torah really the true book or corrupt? And is when the Quran says there is light and there is guidance in it, in this Torah original, take care of your own guidance. Stop arguing about other people. Take care of your own Quran and study it and understand that you will understand what the Quran is talking about. Without studying and going into the details of the Quran, trying to pass judgment others is just a waste of time and not right. And not right. That's why I'm a little bit wasting Muslims' energy for nothing, for no benefit. That's why I'm a little bit excited about it. Thank you very much, Jazakumullah, for joining again and again. Welcome our friend, our friend Mahas and hand. So those days I remember now. Beautiful days. We used to have the Quran studies under the masjid. Do you remember that? And also in the houses of our friends. MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة.
Walaikum salam. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome. You are most welcome. I have to stop sharing in order to stop the... Oh, no.
Thank you, Doctor.
You are most welcome.